Welcome to our Thought Bubble episode.
You want to silence your computer?
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
I don't know, but I believe
Bruce and I are at Lowe's.
Some people buy one Christmas tree.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Twiddles and Tiger vodcast.
Also known as the Mike and Bruce vlogcast.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed our episode about Revive last week. In case you're wondering why we're at this lovely little orange table and sitting awkwardly next to each other, check out the video linked below, as well as probably somewhere floating on this page. Let's put it like right over Bruce's face, like boom. There's the video.
That's a great spot for it.
Watch that to figure out why we're doing this. On the weeks in between those adventures, our goal is just to sit down and kind of have a conversation with each other. It might be entertaining.
It might not be.
It might be like the most boring 20 minutes. But if you're really lonely and just want someone
to love you,
we will
we
send
can
love
love you
through the internet. We will invite you to be part of these
ridiculous love. Or thought bubbles.
Thought bubbles. Just thought bubbles.
Just thought bubbles.
We're not sharing the love. Just the
yet.
thought bubbles. So, all right. Let's go over some quick rules. It's one person's responsibility to come up with 4 or 5 questions, not tell the other person, and we're just going to discuss these. So I have had plenty of time to think this over and consider it and
come up with the most ridiculous, embarrassing things to ask me.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of interesting.
All right.
Bruce has had no preparation at all. And he's just gonna have to make these up on the spot, and we're kind of gonna figure out how we think.
Just candidly.
Candidly. So yeah, pull up a chair.
Pop some popcorn.
Yeah, or if you're more like a vegetable person, have a salad. So okay, so question number 1. Bruce.
Micah.
Tiger.
Twiddles.
If alien life exists and you are in charge of making first contact without any knowledge of their race or their motives, their intentions, do you take an aggressive or a peaceful approach?
Now, I have a follow-up question. Were you in the shower when you thought of this question?
I don't think I was. I think
okay.
I just finished a nonfiction book where aliens attack the world.
Okay.
I'm not going to say what it was because it's probably meant for 14-year-olds, but we'll say it's currently in theaters and has 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So quality motion picture is what you're saying.
I believe one of the reviews said this movie could have been called young adult sci-fi movie.
Fantastic.
So that was the motive for this.
Okay. Do these aliens speak English?
You know absolutely nothing about these aliens except you have been now tasked. They're
reach out to them.
You're the one the phone is ringing, they're on the line, you have to answer it.
All right. I think you have to go peaceful until they show aggression. So
okay.
The aggression's kind of in the back pocket for you. You reach out and say, thanks for contacting America or Earth, planet Earth.
So you're like customer service. Thank you for calling Earth.
Yeah, we'll be your call is very important to us. The next available representative will be with you shortly. But I think being friendly would go a little bit better. I mean, we still live in the age that, trying to think of a good analogy here, but nothing's coming to me.
So you're not saying stranger danger.
I'm saying unless they pose a threat to us,
okay.
If they've got T Swift held hostage, then we respond with aggression.
So if they take our American icons captive.
Yes, that's when we pull out the big guns. But I mean, alien guns. Are we gonna be able?
Yeah.
Are we gonna stand a chance here? I think being not necessarily passive, but being friendly, I think is probably in our best interests.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think rolling out the nuclear arms is probably our strongest suit. Having had some more time to think about this, and this is actually where this question came from. If alien life existed, is it possible that their motives, like their purpose for existing, it could be completely different than ours? Like, we take on like a survival mentality ultimately. Like the goal is to survive and reproduce, and hopefully along the way, like, you know, do some cool stuff. But even recently, like that's only been like the last, you know, since the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, there's been
1600s.
like sporadic pockets of like massive amounts of culture. But really, for most of human history, it's been a survival mentality. I think that pushes us towards a more aggressive stance. Like, we have to survive, whatever these guys are bringing. What if this people are so far past that survival point? Is that safe to assume?
I think that might be safe to assume.
Yeah.
That
it's purely exploration. Because, like, if we were to, like, go to another planet and find life there, we'd be doing it because we're exploring. Most likely, it's possible. And, like, the polar ice caps could melt and we're all going to be drowning, but...
Hanging out with the polar bears.
But asking, like, what... Like, is it possible for an alien race to have a completely different, like, modus operandi? Whether, like, beyond just surviving. And I think that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, so no definitive answer on that one. But good talk.
I think it also kind of depends on what they're going after, like, you know, post simply surviving. I mean, because for us, I mean, for humans, it's, you know, you go to school, go to college, get married, have kids, retire, have some fun somewhere in there. And I mean, that's kind of just like the way things have been set up. So I think it kind of depends upon, you know, how society progresses and what society deems, you know, the norm.
All right, good question. I mean, I'm not sure we got anywhere with it, but if you're still with us, awesome.
Thank you for that.
High five yourself. I'm gonna save that one. Okay. This is one I've been asking anyone who will listen. I'm gonna save this one for you. Kind of a 2-for-1 question. So it's like you had like a coupon for this question.
Ooh, coupons.
Blue light special. So, a vigilante is defined as one who undertakes law enforcement without legal authority because legal agencies are inadequate. I'm also going to throw antiheroes in this category. An antihero is simply someone who lacks conventional heroic attributes.
Okay.
I feel like both of these, I know we've been friends for almost 2 years, have not watched a movie together.
Not all the way through.
No, like we've like started parts of it for like 20 minutes, but...
And then just gotten bored.
Yeah. So, but I'm not sure if that makes us really lame or really awesome. I'm going to go with awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to go with awesome. Like, we don't need a TV to... Or we don't need screens to...
Yeah. By the way, Bruce doesn't know this, we will have a future upcoming podcast where we are doing Just Dance together to a song that I pick out, so hang in for that one. Alright, so anyway, going back to this question, the popular culture, massively into the superhero mentality now. Some of the more interesting ones are either vigilantes or anti-heroes. You take someone like Batman.
Batman is the vigilante.
Vigilante, for sure. You take someone like...
Is Aquaman an anti-hero because he talks to fish?
No, I think he's a bit like a Tony Stark, where you're kind of this like rogue guy who's doing the right thing, but a little temperamental. And if there's a super like knowledgeable like Marvel person watching this, don't judge me. Like
we need Newt Holt.
Right
now. They know more about that.
I've seen the movies, and I've like, you know, Hobby Lobby's got those cool like vintage posters of the comics. That's all I know.
Yeah, the 11 by 12s or whatever.
Yeah. My question for you though, a vigilante. Let's start there.
Okay.
Is that someone who's a good vigilante at least? Is that someone who's setting a model to be followed? Or if someone's performing vigilante behaviors, are they someone you ultimately like? Well, even if they're doing the right things for the right things because the law isn't there.
Yeah.
How basically are vigilantes or antiheroes?
Are they okay?
Are they good role models?
Okay. I guess my caveat to start this would be, you know, if somebody's bullying somebody or whatever, don't go out and buy a cape and, you know, some nunchucks and take things into your own hands.
I'm gonna have to return my nunchucks then.
Okay. Shame on you.
Okay.
That's what a quitter would say. Like, if you already have them, don't return them.
Gotcha.
But,
Okay.
but don't go out and
so
buy
someone
them.
gives you nunchucks, it's okay to use them. You just shouldn't.
You shouldn't go out and buy them.
Okay, this is starting to sound like certain substances legal in some parts of the country. Okay, back to the question though. Back to the thought bubble.
Yeah, that thought bubble just left the station without me on it.
Do thought bubbles leave the station or do they float? Like, are they lighter than air?
Are they filled with helium or non-flammable hydrogen?
I think they're just filled with thoughts. That's why they're a thought bubble.
Well, do thoughts float? Now this could just be completely a Monty Python conversation. Like, what do you do with thought bubbles? Like, do you burn them?
How do you legally dispose of a thought bubble? Next week on thought bubbles. Okay, so let's bring this back around to the question. Vigilantes though, role models or people who do what's necessary, but should ultimately be probably condemned.
I think condemnation is a strong word for that. I think that, I mean, for men especially, like, there's just something alluring or captivating about, like, both of those types of people, because they see a problem and they somehow find the strength within themselves to do something about it. And I think that that's a question that speaks very intimately to the male, like the masculine heart. So
recognizing something as wrong
and doing something about it if no one else is going to or else wants to. But, you know, we've got this PC culture that says, you know, obey the law or X, Y, and Z is going to happen to you, which I think is also not the right response either. So I think that if you know, someone's looking to an anti-hero or a vigilante, you know, for affirmation that, like, deep inside them that there's this, you know, this fire to, like, do something to help others, like, I think that's great. But if it turns into a I'm gonna put on a cape and light buildings on fire so I can rescue cats from them, I think that's kind of where you have to draw the line.
There's a level of narcissism that if you cross, like, I think a good vigilante or someone performing behaviors, it has to be done out of humbleness because no one else will.
Yeah, I think that's a good characteristic of it.
And I think, like, when I was thinking through this, I was trying to think of, like, people that I would would fit the definition of vigilante and would be commendable. And there's, like, I'm sure you've seen the picture of the guy in Tiananmen Square.
Just standing in front of the
standing
tank.
there.
Yeah.
And you're like that is, I mean, something, like, you know, you can't, you know, you still see, like, those Upworthy banners, and it's that guy.
Yeah.
You think maybe even, I don't want to speak too much towards something I'm not that familiar with, but, like, you know, an interesting vodcast has to have, you have to speak what you don't know. Like Rosa Parks, you know, someone you know, who lit a fire under the civil rights movement because she did what she wasn't supposed to do. But I think this is more, I thought about this question, I realized, like, there was a very cultural perspective of, like, where we're at, like, police are generally viewed as the good guys, the authorities are the good guys, the law is there for your protection, and we respect that, and we live under that because we know that this is good justice. There are a lot of places where I'm not sure that you could say that that's true.
Yeah, like, I mean, especially with just the police movement, you know, now with you know, kind of unfortunate situations happening with, you know, kids getting shot and killed, and then there's just, like, this mentality that you know, the police are the bad guys, which is, like, super unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, and I don't, I mean, once again, I don't want to go in too close to something I don't know much about.
Yeah.
But that's, like, I mean, I think those examples hit the news. I think by and large, at least, you see a lot of good from our justice system. Occasionally flaws for sure, but, like, thinking to other spots of the world where like, the vigilantes are the people standing up for justice.
Yeah. If
someone's going to go all haywire against the law enforcement in Central Illinois, I'm probably going to side with the law enforcement. Like, I trust the justice system enough that will sort itself out. Other parts of the world, I'm not so sure. But that's what makes this a thought bubble.
Yeah.
Like it's a very interesting thing to try to process through.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let me see what else I got here. Okay, all right, this is a good one because we've already said we don't watch movies together. Pick a movie character who you would consider to be a universal role model. So anyone in the world could look at this character and say, "It is good to be like this guy, or girl, or creature." I guess you could.
All right. I wish you would have given me like a little time to think about.
That's not
this
how thought bubbles work, man.
Oh man.
It's,
I'm gonna sit here forever.
I actually haven't thought of an answer to this one either, so I'll think we'll have the next like 3 minutes of us just sitting here in
Yeah.
silence, like fast forwarding forward,
Yeah.
fast forwarding.
You know, off the top of my head, I think Mulan. Like, is that
Okay.
her name?
Yeah,
Yeah, Princess Mulan, or is she a princess?
I think she marries the general.
Okay.
Maybe?
However that works.
Someone look this up and comment on this.
Yeah, like we need help. It's been a decade since I've seen Mulan. I just like the song. Must be swift.
Oh yeah. You gotta love Donny Osmond.
But I think whether you're a guy or a girl, like you can look up to Mulan and just be like she's got it going on. Like I don't remember what the premise of the story is, but like she starts
Mushu.
Yeah, she starts kicking everybody's butts. She like gets to the top of that goofy pole thing.
She takes the place of her dad's called for war, but he's sick and can't go.
Okay.
So she takes his place.
But so like you've got
Which is like a huge sacrifice.
yeah, like she's like crossing gender roles and gender lines and all that stuff. So like, you know, the feminist movement is strong in the late 90s Disney movies. Before it was even cool. Like, way to go, Disney. Good job. You know, she just breaks all those stereotypes, but then like guys can look at her and just be like, that's like a strong like feminine role model. And like you don't, I mean, as a guy, like I'm not necessarily ashamed to be like that's like a, you know, a movie character that isn't worth looking up to. You know, she's bold, she has courage, strength, just like all those, you know, qualities that like aren't necessarily attributed to women, but also aren't necessarily not attributed to women.
Yeah.
So it's
like,
just like, she just reminds me of Rey from the new Star Wars a little bit, like just bold and brass and just a BA. Can I abbreviate that? Is that okay?
Bad aardvark. Yes.
Okay, bad aardvark.
She's a bad aardvark. Because I thought, well, yeah, that's a great example. And I love the fact that you picked a female character because I think, I think many male characters are awesome examples, but like they don't exhibit the inherently like the amazing.
It kind of just seems like to be the norm for them. Like there's a problem, so the guy like has to rise up.
Yeah, but I think there's also like a piece of like going to Mulan of her feminine character that exemplifies these what we consider inherently masculine traits of boldness and courage, but also displays
like the gentle femininity.
An incredible example of femininity.
Yeah. Where
she is able to fall in love with a man and love him and respect him. There's these examples of like I this is like the only one I can remember right now is like she's going to take a bath and she's like kind of being all like folding her clothes and hanging them up on the tree and then like going around when no one's around because he doesn't want to be caught. But there's like this example of modesty and just like of beauty, but also of just care. And like then the guys like just like all of these naked guys just pile down through through the brush. And
it's like the sauna at the lodge.
Yeah, it is. And it's just like
no shame.
It's like there's this brashness that the men exhibit that you don't think is a good thing compared to her of like this caring for like her clothes and
her appearance even. Like,
and her appearance.
All it wore.
And I think those are like also cool things that a guy can take away from that.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean like how many, you know, movies or TV shows are like the male characters just portrayed as like buffoons. I mean, just like look at, you know, Peter Griffin from Family Guy, Homer Simpson.
Sure.
Like
There's no valor at all.
Yeah, like in every like sitcom or animated television show, the father, the male role is just like this big oaf of a buffoon, and it's like, how are like guys supposed to look up to that when they put their shoes on backwards?
Yeah.
So
well, and I think my response to this question would be a little bit less thoughtful than yours, even though I've had time to think about this. I would probably have to go with Maximus from Gladiator. And here's why. He does his job well, and he respects authority. His emperor, like he respects him, he cares for him in a way that the emperor's son doesn't. And I love that picture of like respecting authority. He defends his family. I think that's a trait that whether you're whether you're a man or a woman, defending your family is important. I think the men especially will need to own that, and he does that. And, and in his case, it doesn't work. Like, his family dies, and that's awful. But then throughout the movie, he fights.
Like, he doesn't give up.
He doesn't give up. He doesn't lose heart, and he fights injustice. And there's a moment at the end of that movie where he frees all these men, and they're like, you are free, go. Yeah. And that's this incredible picture of freedom. And I think the cool thing for me is when those men are given freedom, they still choose to follow him. And I think, like, going to like our faith as Christians, like, that's what Jesus did. Like, he bought us our freedom at his expense. And now we have like the joy of following him. So
I think that's spot on.
We'll have to revisit this question. Like, I like this.
that one's deep.
So
I like that
going on to, I mean, kind of like following suit. These are all a little heavier. But
oh boy,
can courage exist in a person with the absence of the expression of courage?
Ooh.
Can you be a courageous person having never expressed courage? Is it innate, or is it one of those innate within you? Inert. Okay. This is why you got to have someone else when you're talking, because
I think it's inert.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Somebody who's smarter than us. You boneheads, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Can courage be present? Hang on, read that one more time for me.
Okay. Can courage exist in a person with the absence of the expression of courage?
Can it? I mean, what does Webster say courage is? Like, is it? Because I mean, to me, like, you have to have action behind that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
our neighbors are making some noise, so if you hear that, that's what that is. We love them.
Where's the broom? Just no, I think that unless you're putting your money where your mouth is, like if you're all talk and no walk or whatever, I think courage is something that like has to be expressed. Mm-hmm. That's my answer. I don't know how else to go off of that.
Yeah. So the story behind this, and we recommend watching our video last week where I talk about this a little bit. One of my favorite things at Revive a few weeks ago was paintballing. Mm-hmm. So there's a story. Me and Colin hunkered behind this tire, getting people are like shooting at us from all directions, and I know that if we stay here, they're just gonna get closer and get us. Mm-hmm. So we have to move forward. And I poke my head up and a few paintballs whiz past me. Oh. And I remember thinking, would I have the courage to move forward if those weren't paintballs, if those were actually bullets? And that's made me wonder, okay, is courage in this case, do I have to move forward to have courage? Or am I still courageous if I just stay here and hunker down? And I think a lot of that comes back to motives.
Yeah.
But I was talking to Jordan at work about this, and I think, can you have any character trait, or at least any positive character trait, in the absence of the expression of it? If you're a fearful person, you're not.
That's gonna be demonstrated by how you live.
Yeah,
you're not gonna take risks. You're not gonna.
Yeah, like everything you don't do will point to that character trait. The positive traits, though, like courage, loyalty, valor, joy, even, are any of those exemplified without actually working to express those.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible then.
Yeah, it's definitely like, wow, whoa.
That's a good question. Yeah,
That's a good thought bubble. What
Yeah.
you need to like save that bubble in a
Yeah.
bottle. So that's all the questions.
dog ear that one.
We'll come back to that one. 2 weeks from today, Bruce will be
Providing the questions.
providing some questions, the tiger questions.
Oh, you're gonna love these.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed these thought bubbles. Leave a comment if there's a question you think would be worth asking, or something like you guys should never do that again. We may or may not read them. We'll probably read them, but we much won't read.
I mean, if they're mean, we won't read them. I won't read them.
Okay, I'll censor them. I'll like put up some like black bars on them. Yeah.
This one's mean.
So
Bruce,
yeah,
don't read it.
we definitely want to invite you into the conversation. We realize we're just two guys talking about stuff for the joy of it. But if we can bring a question or a thought or a perspective in, we'd love to be able to share that
absolutely.
on this channel. At least we're gonna say that now. That might have to change. So, guys, have a great weekend. I'm Twiddles.
I'm Tiger.
Have a good one.